let's do this first before we get anywhere else. Let's do this.
It's a bluebird day for the Deerlam Feed Store weather. 61 degrees currently, heading to a high today of 86.
It's going to be nice. Today's,
beautiful, sunshiny skies. Good day to get out and run off that bowl of caldo you had yesterday.
Absolutely.
Go for a walk, increase your cardio. Dawn's constantly telling me, increase your cardio. Increase your cardio.
Good day to get to Deerlam Feed for all you. You know the mosquitoes are coming.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to want to get all your pest control products.
We'll have mosquitoes this weekend, don't you think?
Yeah.
By this weekend. They are persistent little boogers. I don't know how they do it. Did I not start it? Nope. Oh. For those of you just joining us on Facebook, man, we were good. We were really good for like that.
We were so good.
Yeah, I've already thanked Judge Posey for being in and for all he does. Those of you listening on Magic 95.9 on the Magic 95 FM app. Those of you in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, thank you for listening.
Puerto Vallarta. That's not so sunny in Calgary. They're closing businesses again. I think everybody has till Sunday or something like that to stay open, and then they shut them down again. The COVID.
Tell you what, you can get excited about these local political races. Ash and I we'll talk more about them as people close out. For example, today, front page of the paper, Aaron Franco files again, or says he's going to file, hasn't filed. No, but says he's going to run again for the seat in precinct or district
3, not precinct. That's county commissioner.
Sorry, Mr. Burns, seriously. District 3 that he lost to Jeff Bachnight, says he's going to run again, says he's young and he's not going anywhere. And I applaud him getting in the arena. Good for him. Being a little bit of a strategist, I think I personally might have waited to see who I've got to beat. But hats off to him. He knows he wants to serve, and he's gotten involved. We're going to try to get him on the air soon, I think. I'd love to have him on. Low down to call this morning, 575-9509.
Judge Posey said he had the radio on before we hit the button.
Look at that.
So there we go. He was the first one in then.
Judge, you're a good man.
Yeah. Let's see who else is in this morning. Marvin Mickish, first one in. Well, second, because we know Judge Posey was in. Bobby Leister, good morning. Amanda Smith-King, Rena Scherer, Chris Conrad, Diane Tippett, Scott Snow, Tracy Price, Justin Glass, Scott Tomko, Johnny Houghton.
Got Luke on the bump tonight.
Robert Moore Knipling says the mosquitoes are already out. Kendra Douglas, Richard King, Jim Simpson, Funky's in.
Yep.
David Glass, Torrin Bales. Chris Conrad says this way is a way better shot running unopposed. So does everybody, right?
Yeah. Torrin says Carter for District 3. I don't think so.
Daniel Bird, Roy Gutierrez.
I'll point out to you, TB, that if there's going to be any pettiness, I want it coming from me on the radio. The pettiness has already started, and you'll see in the mayoral race. Of course, you have David Crook. I don't know Mr. Crook. I do know that Mr. Crook, it appears, if you go to his Facebook page and you had to take a shot every time there's a run-on sentence or an incomplete sentence or a misspelled word, you'd be drunk before you got through the first couple of pages. So I do think that Mr. Crook needs some help proofreading and putting his best foot forward. I'm sure his ideas are cohesive. I wish him nothing but the best. But given that I don't know him, his writing leaves a lot to be desired. Then you've got Emmett Alvarez. Emmett, a friend. I mean, Emmett is, I do consider Emmett a friend. You and I, wouldn't you agree? I'm not being He's a friend of the show. And there was a time Emmett was not my friend. And Emmett has a unique ability to completely disassociate politics from friendship. I mean, Emmett is the guy.
So does everybody in Washington, D.C.
Well, that's true. He's a true politician. Emmett is the guy that would bail you out of jail to keep everybody from knowing you went and then bring it up and put it on a billboard in your next election. I know. I bailed him out. I mean, Emmett is that guy. Emmett is the
It's
guy.
just politics. That's how they've sloughed that stuff off.
I just find it interesting that, and he would not be offended by this. I respect Emmett greatly for what Emmett. It's like respecting a rattlesnake. He is what he is. Emmett, though, is an opportunistic politician. Emmett believes in the big picture, standing up here on the 5th floor of the Tower of Power and looking south. Emmett believes that because he's the only Latino in the race, that he can go down south and say, "Mi familia," and rally those people eager to have a voice, and rally them into a frenzy to get their cousins and their neighbors, and they will all go vote for Emmett. Those people never stop to think about the fact that I don't know anybody, honestly, much more fiscally responsible than Emmett. He is Dale Zook, yeah, but Emmett is a guy who is very fiscally responsible.
Yeah, fiscally conservative.
Very conservative. Emmett is a guy that would lop off your hand if he thought there was a quarter in between your fingers. And if Emmett, he won't lie to him, but if he alludes to some fantasy of rejuvenating the South Side and they choose to go down that path believing they're just foolish. It's not going to happen. He's not going to do that. He's smarter than that.
Fiscal conservatives are a dinosaur in the modern Democratic Party because the only solution that the modern Democratic Party has for any problem is to throw money at it. They don't want to take the laws on the books as they are and actually apply them. U.S. southern border.
Right.
They just throw money at problems that never, ever actually solve the problems. That's the modern Democratic Party strategy for pretty much everything. Ignore the laws and throw money at it.
Exactly. Greg Garcia, hola, hermano. He says, good morning. I do think it's interesting or worth noting that in this political environment, it is funny when one of the reasons I don't stand here as mayor is because I will tell you what's behind the curtain. The wizard is a joke, okay? I will tell you that, and that's why the old guard simply could not allow an outsider like me to actually serve, which is why I won't run again.
Well, he didn't get enough votes.
No, but absolutely by design. I mean,
that's the way society
I can be the
today.
Punchline, but the reality is it was never going to happen.
But society's that way in all areas today. They want to hear what they want to hear. Society in general wants to hear what society wants to hear.
Right.
They don't want to hear what society needs to hear. And that's the problem in the world today. Because what you need to hear and what you want to hear may not be the same thing. And what you need to hear may be a tougher message than what you want to hear.
Absolutely.
And we've raised a couple of generations of kids who have not ever heard what they need to hear, but what they want to hear.
Absolutely. You know, if you go to Facebook and you go and bring up local attorney David Coffey, David wrote several scathing posts about Emmett. And you wonder why David Coffey, why a local lawyer would bring up scathing. Hold on, caller. We'll be with you in just a moment.
Might be our guest.
Oh, could it be?
It could be. It probably is.
Well, let's see.
Good morning, Wade and Carter Show. Good morning, sir.
I'm sorry. We don't do birthday wishes. How are you, our friend? Well, you have superseded. We were rambling on about local politics, and we're very glad to be able to at least take it to the state level with you, sir. How are you? Fantastic. You know, is there going to be a big multi-denominational gathering there? Awesome. I've got a friend here, and many of these folks listening local will remember a real dear buddy of mine is a pastor at First Baptist Church, Allen. His name is Chad Self, Pastor Chad Self. You have a chance to find Chad Self, you will find a really large congregation that can probably help you out a lot. These are great folks. And he's a Victoria boy. Tell us, hey, Carter said, tell you, hi, Pastor, and he'll probably try to run it first, but then he'll come around.
But with constitutional carry, you can stop him from running.
Right. What do you?
Yeah.
Do you feel good about that? I talked to Sheriff Louderback, America's sheriff down here, and he said that with the constraints, I'm not sure the word he used, but with the restrictions or with the verbiage that's in the bill, he said, I feel good about it. I'm for it. So was it some strategery, to quote President Bush? Was it strategery by the left to muddle the concept of the bill or put things in there that might get it killed?
And
it
did pass along party lines in the Senate yesterday. So that tells me that some of these amendments were put into place by the Republicans then. Is that what that's what you're saying, right?
There you go.
What are some of those, and what are some of those amendments that would okay.
Well,
yeah, because I was looking this morning too, and it's interesting because some of the articles that Brett and I were looking at this morning as we were getting ready for the show made no mention of any of these amendments. It just it passed 18-13 along House. I mean, it made it seem like this thing was designed to pass. And well, it's mainstream media, a lot of it too. And it made, well, the Republicans are bad. They're passing constitutional carry with no mention of any of these amendments.
Well, it's funny you say you're up early to get a run in and you're having your first cup of tea. Ash is on his third vodka. So it's very interesting. We get up earlier in here. Yes, sir. And I don't know if he starts drinking earlier. He usually tries to keep something cold, on the back of the toilet. So
just never stop.
Just never stop.
Yeah.
It's good for your heart. Just keep it diluted. I always think about, you're obviously, of course, I've read your books and you're a gentleman of great faith and all that. And it always comes back to me when we visit with you, Colonel, that we visited with you the first time about, like 2 weeks after you laid down the motorcycle. And when you tell me I got up this morning and went for a run, I'm always very proud for you that you've recovered and have put that behind you. That's awesome. Yes, sir. Of course, yesterday when you went by, you were in a 2019 Peterbilt, no longer on a bike. As I drove by, I looked down at the scene of where I fell off the motorcycle. Well, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And that's something.
And anybody who drives that stretch of roadway knows just how busy it is and how miraculous it was that you walked away, but it could have been a whole lot worse. You drive that stretch of highway.
Tell me, help me articulate, sir. You do this better than me. Sometimes when I look at these things like this open carry, it's some people will. It's not. I don't have this delusion that 90% of Victorians are going to strap a
Glock to their hip,
right?
And start walking around.
It's not going to happen. But why is it that I always feel like it's not a knee-jerk reaction? But it is a fairly extreme statement of conservatism, of libertarianism, of America. It's so pro 2A. Why do I feel like we're kind of giving ourselves enough rope to hang ourselves? Good.
No, absolutely. Yeah, they never have cared about the laws when you look at the statistics and the illegal guns that are used to commit the bulk of the crimes. It's not, I mean, that's, yeah.
See, I feel better now. I don't know why I felt like.
See, and I feel worse because it seems to me that, if you look at Vermont and you look at Utah, you have to trade your ability to elect decent representatives for the ability to carry constitutionally.
Right.
Seems to be the trade-off.
Colonel, how did you feel the other day, besides hopefully, free, that Mitt Romney was literally booed off the stage of the Utah Republican convention?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I listened to you speak, and so many people, I think, get lost that there's always so much more we can do. There's so much better we can get along with our neighbors and our brothers, and yet you have the president of the United States last week saying that America is systemically a racist country. And I'm like, to have the president of the United States condemn us on the global stage is just disheartening.
Yeah.
Right.
Yet they want to and they want to scream that the Republican Party is the party of racists.
Yeah, it's
well, and let's go down a little bit further, because you saw the reactions of what happened, not only Tim Scott in his response to President Biden, but the reactions to what took place in Georgia with the voting laws that were passed, and the absolute, I mean, to me, it's almost it's I'm trying to find the right words, but it's almost insulting that the left comes out and basically says that Black people in Georgia don't have the wherewithal Joe Biden said they don't have the wherewithal to get online. I mean, that's just out there. But that black people in Georgia don't have the ability to go get an ID so they can vote. It's insulting.
And we have to get rid of menthol cigarettes. We have, cash checks. But Colonel, the left, we say it here all the time, the left is always most easily recognizable by their hypocrisy. And yet I know well-meaning, educated, middle-aged and older than me white Democrats who are pure apologists for this mentality. There are people listening to this show right now who are saying, "Oh, move on. You're just an unwoke American. Move on. You're being petty." They impeached Donald Trump for less.
How did
Yes, sir.
How does that bring a country together? You hear Joe Biden talk about wanting to bring a country together, yet it's conquer and divide even amongst the people that they're trying to say that they represent. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. We're going to switch gears because we have a question from a viewer on Facebook. It says he wants to know your view of the plan to withdraw all troops from Afghanistan by September.
Craziness.
Absolutely. Yeah. What can Texas do with? I mean, we talked a little bit and briefly early on, I think, about the crisis on the border. What can Texas do from your standpoint to take control of that? Because it's obvious the federal government isn't going to do a darn thing. Yeah, there was a two-story house. I read a story. There was a two-story house in Houston over the weekend that was raided. 90 people in that home.
Wow.
90 people in that
But
home.
nobody had COVID. Everybody was wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Colonel, here's a question for you, or a scenario.
140 countries. Jeff Fonseca says, "Good Lord, that's probably what 2/3 of every country on this planet, if not higher."
Yeah, right at it.
Jeez.
Well, they know the border's open. Come on in. So, Colonel, here's a hypothetical for you. Of course, you've been elected to high office as a United States representative, and my aunt that lives in the Lubbock area still talks highly of being one of your constituents when she lived in Florida. And I know that you take the role we've all observed and been present in meetings and things where you take your role of spreading conservatism and being the figurehead of the Republican Party of Texas very, very seriously. And it's not, I'm not in any way insinuating that it's viewed as a stepping stone or anything such. But is there a chance in the near future that we might see you run for office, a different office, and how would you fare in a debate with, say, Matthew McConaughey? Well, we know that you absolutely grasp and understand a strong sense of duty. It's been evident in every aspect of your life, and I've been around you enough to know that your faith is very central to your perception of duty, and we need that. We need that in this country. We need people to pray for you. We need people to pray for our leadership, and I'm feel like I'm wrapping up this conversation. I don't really want to. I didn't mean it that way. We're just glad you're willing to spend time with us.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I have a question. Looking at our state budget, how do you think that's going to play out with the COVID ramifications, sales taxes dropping, or the revenue from that? How do you see the budget playing out this year, or for the next 2 years? How does a Republican-led government get to a Department of Health equity? And what is that?
Well, yes, sir. Ash and I saw a deal yesterday. It said that in the state of California, and we didn't get down in the weeds with it, but in the state of California, they're going to quit teaching gifted and talented math at the high school level because they essentially don't want to give an advantage to a smarter kid. They kind of want to dumb it down so that all the kids are fairly equitable in terms of their math.
So they're sitting in class, and the kid that maybe not be as good at math doesn't have to feel that he's not as good at math. Yeah.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Sir, thank you for your time always. Go have a blessed day, and please keep us in touch. BJ Nelson says hi. Okay,
thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Folks, that whole segment, what an honor to be joined by the Colonel A. He's just a super fine guy, no matter your politics. Even if you don't agree with his politics, a man who served our nation, who was in combat defending the United States ideals and doing his duty.
Yeah.
And then whether you're Republican, Democrat, or whatever, that man's he's a star. He's a rock star.
We appreciate the Colonel making time for us on the Wade and Carter Show.
Absolutely. Somebody that'll make time for you on the highways and byways. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. You can count on Allen to be there for you. All the Allens, Allen West, Allen Miller, they all come running when you call 578-6300. VCS companies, Jim Hartman and his family provide for you and your family. It's that simple. Communication, phone, security, surveillance, they've got it all. Reach out to the VCS companies on Kerr Boulevard, just inside the loop off Main Street.
Chesnick Furniture Company for 101 years now. They've been selling Victoria and the Crossroads region their furniture. It's that simple.
You buy it, they deliver it.
Yeah. More likely, if you went in there today and said, hey, I need this sofa, I'd like it this afternoon,
oh, yeah.
You'll get it this afternoon.
Yeah.
116 West Warren Lane, they've still got 50% off furniture as they continue to celebrate now more than 100 years in business at Chesnick Furniture Company.
Veracruz Restaurant, get in today. Tell you what, today's Thursday. Give them a call, 576-6015. Put in an order for an enchilada casserole to be picked up tomorrow. That gives you enchiladas all weekend. There's nothing better, man.
No.
It's just go in there like in the middle of the night on Saturday night and just go,
even bonus. Cold.
Yeah, right. You throw it in the microwave. It's hot on both ends. It's kind of cool in the middle. It's perfect. Veracruz.
I found the key to that because if you nuke it at 100%,
you got to back it off. Right?
The tortilla gets hard.
A little leathery.
You back it off to about 60 to 70 and increase the time a little bit. It's perfect.
Nice. Yeah. By the way, I visited yesterday with Bob Constantine, Texas Coast Limo. Bob is saying, hey, now is the time. Start planning proms, graduations, summer weddings, Kinseys.
Summer concerts.
Brother Gary's gearing up for Kinsey season. You know that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's coming.
By the way, you're not really coming of age as a young woman unless Brother Gary shows up and has a piece of cake at your Kinsey.
That's true.
I mean, if he doesn't have turquoise or lavender on his shirt collar, it ain't a real Kinsey. Reach out to Texas Coast Limo, Bob Conn. That's 578 Limo, 575 Limo. Just dial something limo and see what you get. Let's go real quick because we did burn through a lot of time.
Yeah,
we always love the time with Allen West. The Atzenhofer dealership since 1926. Atzenhofer.com is your way to shop at work. It's a Thursday.
Or at home.
Yeah, you probably do it at work, though.
Yeah, probably. Well, you're working from home.
Yeah, if you're social distancing, Atzenhofer.com. Get in there. Look, I went by the other day, got an oil change, went across, got the car inspected. It's like driving a brand new car.
When they lubed you, did they bend you over?
Well, stop it. Stop.
White Trash Services, 550-1826.
550-1826. BJ Nelson, now actually a personal friend of Colonel West.
Yeah, went up and had barbecue at his place.
Nobody invited us.
Nope.
Razor IT, so but 550-1826. 7
All your
county.
trash collection needs.
We didn't want to gloss over that. If you need a roll-off dumpster for a big project, if you need trash service in Holiday Beach, Rockport, down in the valley, over in Lavernia, whatever you need, they got it. Razor IT Solutions, JP Hull and his team will take care of you and yours. It's that simple. From encryption to analytics, building a website, finding a way to collect for merch. I'm working on that today, by the way.
Nice.
Razor IT Solutions is your teammate. The law offices of Steve Kidder. Steve Kidder's in court today. Told me yesterday he had lots going on.
Oh, he's representing somebody in court today.
Yeah,
He's nodding. Yeah, okay, gotcha. I was worried about him for a minute.
That ethics charge was, it was postponed. It's all good. License? I didn't know I needed a license. Steve Kidder.
Bar, I pass the bar every day.
Yeah, come on. No. What?
Oh, wait, I don't pass the bar.
Steve, I never pass the bar. Reach out to Steve Kidder, no humor. Whether it's civil matter, you need a contract done, you need somebody to review something. Very reasonable, very fair, very caring, and very, very competent. And then, of course, Complete 360. Right over here next to Woodlawn Bowl, the health bar, or up north, they have supplements at both locations, and they have smoothies at both locations, paninis, wraps, and all kinds of really good, like lunch fare, light lunch fare, healthy lunch fare, right here on Red River.
Healthy breakfast fare as well. They open at 7 o'clock.
Absolutely. If we have something, we got the Brother Man coming in. Let's visit with the Brother Man, and then we'll catch that last segment.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you folks working with us. We very, very thrilled to have the Colonel here. Now, the General himself, General Elísimo Moses. Isn't he a fantastic gentleman?
Very, very well.
Here's the deal.
Speaks very well.
And I didn't know, and I talked to Ash about this off the air, that I was like, I don't know why I feel like telling everybody put a gun on your hip is going back in time, that it's a bad idea. But he made me understand that I was wrong. Well, why not just get a permit for everything? And I basically got it. He basically was saying, just because you can doesn't mean you have to, but you should be able to.
Yeah.
There you go. Talk to us, brother. How are you, sir? And what's going on?
Good to be with you on another beautiful day. Busy. We're busy. So let me give you a few minutes. I got something good that just came across the wire, okay?
All right.
Okay, here we go. VISD Educational Foundation has a par 3 scramble golf tournament today, 1 o'clock. I'll be over there. They'll kick it off at the Victoria Country Club. So some golf there. Parade at Home starts this weekend, boys. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm doing the banquet tonight. But Parade at Home's this week and next week. Let me know if y'all.
It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, they got 10 homes in there. In town and out of town, 5 and 5, I believe. All right, West Girls playoff game. I like this because I worked a number of their games this year. West Girls playoff game in Robstown this Friday, best of 3 against Mercedes. Friday 1 and a doubleheader needed on Saturday. And as again to you and the UHB golf crew, that was excellent. I love what they're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Very fine job.
Just to recap, men's and women's win the conference and qualify for nationals. So
yes, sir.
we're excited.
That's super. That's super, Dr.
But, yeah, I look back on the guys' score. I think we shot 849 this weekend at Country Club.
I can do that.
That tournament would have won. That score would have won us the conference tournament every other time we've hosted it at Victoria Country Club. Put that into perspective.
That's a good bunch.
We've never shot that well ever at conference when we've hosted at Victoria Country Club. So I'm really proud of the guys for what they did.
That's awesome. But enough about you. Let's talk about Gary.
Well, and Dr. Glenn was there. I was at a UHB luncheon, networking, get together.
You were networking? I mean, what is that? Is that it's like Jesus going, I was just doing some healing?
Yeah. Well, I was water skiing.
Yeah, I was water skiing.
We did that yesterday, and Dr. We're all proud of it.
They're fantastic. Dr. Glenn has been, Vic Morgan did a good job, and then Dr. Glenn has carried it on and expanded it. It's been a great. Yes, sir. Amen.
All right, one more. Saturday is Warriors Weekend Philip Honor flag posting. They had a postcard from last week.
Yeah, it was a little wet last week.
Wow. At 9 o'clock.
Fonzie.
All right, we got this. Brett Favre on Aaron Rodgers. Plus, I got something just right now.
Favre's coming back.
Well, Favre says
Not to
Aaron
Green Bay.
Rodgers- All right, I was listening. This came in last night and then one this morning. Aaron Rodgers will sit out the season before he will play for the Pack this year. He feels that. Aaron Rodgers says he doesn't want to come back. He's doing $37 million this year, $40 million next year. He has 2 years left on his
Now,
contract.
why is he so mad at the Packers? They didn't draft what he wanted?
No, they drafted a quarterback. I think that didn't help. But they've also made
Well,
some
he's-
moves that I don't think he liked.
He's like 39 years old. What's wrong with he sat behind Brett Favre for like 5 seasons? What's wrong with drafting a quarterback? Why do the inmates think they run the prison?
He's upset with him. You know who's really pursuing him? The Denver Broncos. They want him bad.
Well, I think that and
Well, John
he,
Elway played with him, didn't he?
yeah, maybe. Well, I think at Stanford. No,
Right.
against him at Stanford. Yeah.
So they're looking for.
Yeah.
But I got this. Mr. Bruce Tap House in Green Bay, the Bears offered Aaron Rodgers free beer and hamburgers for the rest of his life if he and his wife will stay in Green Bay and play for the Packers. Free beer and
Man.
hamburgers from Mr. Bruce Tap House.
Where did he
You
go?
know,
Cal? He went to
that-
Cal, didn't
Yeah, he went to Cal. That might have worked in the 60s
Right.
and 70s when
Tim Horton. went to
most
Cal.
NFL players had to have a job on the side to make a living.
37
Yeah.
But that came across right now. It's up to
That's a great publicity deal.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking about it in Victoria, Texas.
We're talking
And if I ever get to Green Bay, I'm going there to try their
Mr. Bruce's
burgers.
Tap House.
So, Brother G, we've never done this, and then we're going to put you on the spot here. There's everybody knows you. You know everybody.
Thank you, Lord.
Where were you born?
Victoria. Been here all my life. I've never left the place.
Out in? Were you laid in a manger, wrapped in swaddling clothes? No, wait, no. Moses, your mother put you in a little tar basket and floated you down the Guadalupe,
That must have been it, Brett.
right?
I love it. All right, boys. Got one on baseball. More football. Some good stuff.
I got a baseball one too.
You
So.
got one too? All right, well, throw this one out there. There were 1,092 more strikeouts in the month of April than there were hits.
Yeah.
Wow.
1,092, so way more strikeouts.
They weren't by Zach Greinke.
Baseball's a little concerned about the lack of production. And I think it's a natural byproduct of everybody trying to get lift because now you're swinging instead, you're trying to lift the ball. You're going to miss more balls. You're going to put more balls in the air as pop-ups and flyouts. Then,
Well, and you guys are baseball fans. Let me tell you something. I had a long conversation. You don't have to go too deep. And Terry Poole would be a great guy to visit with this about. So used to the mound was higher. And guys like Bob Gibson were throwing down at you, right? So they've lowered the mound to help the hitters because the pitchers have an advantage. Well, as balls started coming in on a flatter plane, people started having to create lift to hit home runs. And guys' swings got in this elevated plane. Okay. Well, there were so many home runs that the umpires started expanding the strike zone.
That's right.
And when you start giving a pitcher the higher strike, you can't swing up at a pitch that's letter high.
He's got a point.
And the next thing you know, you got a guy like Verlander. He'll throw you a ball inside. There's strike one. He'll throw you a slider away. There's strike two. Then he'll run you up the ladder, and you can't get to it, and you strike out.
well, and that's why pitching is so vertical now instead
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
horizontal as it was when Greg Maddux had all his success.
Absolutely.
But which brings me back to yesterday,
Segue.
almost a perfect game.
Oh, yeah. And Joe-
John Means retired 27 batters,
He did.
But he would give him a walk.
wild pitch. And you know what? According to the
Strike three.
in the third inning, and according to the Elias Sports Bureau, that is the first time that's ever happened. They've had guys reach on an error
Right. And a walk.
that should have been the out or hit by pitch,
Hit by pitch.
but that's the first time by a wild pitch. on a strike three.
On a strike three.
Because
And the guy
technically
got
it's
the
still a
first,
strikeout.
and then he
You
like got the
first.
next guy out.
They doubled him up. And he only faced 27 hitters.
Yeah.
Altogether.
That's a fairly efficient game.
That's fairly efficient.
Yeah.
60
But if
pitches.
you watched any of it, very reminiscent of Maddux. Worked in and out rather than up and down.
Who's
He's
he play for?
Baltimore. I think it's the first no-hitter for Baltimore in 30 years.
Right. Third no hitter of the year. first for Baltimore in like 30 years.
Yeah.
30
I was reading another article on
Palmer?
that. Well, just a year ago, they were concerned that the no-hitter might be going away because pitchers and the pitch count. They don't pitch deep into games, but I think he only threw about 120 pitches yesterday.
Right.
That's awesome.
If you're lucky, right?
Yeah.
If you're lucky, 60. All right, let's just real quickly on the
And the other two no-hitters this year, almost perfect games as
almost
well.
perfect games.
Philip Barone says he lived. He Philip.
I love them.
He's behind the plate last night at the Industrial game, and I had the privilege. It was a true joy to be the voice in the box. It was fun. I was up there by myself working. So picture me now. I've got my 18 pack. I've got my 18 pack of Ultra, and I've got and I'm going. And we did the 7th inning straight. Not really. Out of 44-ounce Coke, and I'm doing the scoreboard. Ash was like, "Do this, do that." He told me what to do over the phone. And a ball comes off a bat, and it hits Philip right in the breadbasket. And he's trying to get his breath back. And I did announce. I said, take a minute. How about giving a round of applause for the umpires? I said he just took one right in the Veracruz cheese enchiladas. And I actually heard a chuckle out of the crowd. It was a lot of fun. It was like
That's right up your alley.
Make-A-Wish day. Yeah, it was fun. Yes, sir. It was fun.
Real quick on Texas and Texas A&M. Here we go. The draft from this past weekend. Sam Ellinger drafted number 218. He was in the 6th round.
So was Tom Brady.
Yeah, he went to Indianapolis competing with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz they picked up during the offseason. Indianapolis, they say
Carson Wentz will resurrect his career in Indianapolis.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
And they're going to use
Tony Dungy.
He's set up that way. He's a Peyton Manning type, all Andrew Luck type of quarterback. He'll be good.
I like it. I think they're going to play him and let him run some.
Put him in a slot.
Put him in a slot, man. I hope he does well. So
He's a football player.
He is.
We'll see what he does.
He's a winner.
Yeah.
All right, Kellen Mond, the Texas A&M boy, drafted number 66, 3rd round. And Minnesota Vikings got him. He'll be under Kirk Cousins, who is the head guy. And he's got guaranteed contracts. So he's going to be there.
As much as, and people may say, oh, Carter's hating on the Aggie. I'm not. I think, and I made the comment before, Ellinger at his best might have been, on a scale of 1 to 10, he might have been a 9 at his best. At his worst, he was a 6. Okay? At Mond's best, he was an 11. But at his worst, he was a 4. Yes, right? If you're a 3 or a 4 ever, you don't play in the NFL. You don't get to go out and throw 4 interceptions and have 2 fumbles ever in the NFL.
Well, we're pulling for him.
I'm absolutely pulling for him. I do.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that have retreaded themselves through the
not
NFL.
Unless they play for Dallas, we won't keep you around with lack of production.
Steve
I like
Walsh.
it that the boys got a chance. He was 66. Ellinger was 218 in the draft.
Right. Well, Ellinger, I really thought he might get picked up as a free agent. Good for him for getting
Good for him
drafted.
to get drafted.
They probably had to pay him like $30,000 to just sign it.
Next time I got some leadoff stuff, some more set aside. Okay?
Brother Gary, we love you, sir. You know, I like to say it on the air. We love Brother Gary Moses. Dana Moore De La Garza, your one-stop planning shop. Folks, one of these days we're all going to die except for Gary. He'll be raptured away.
Thank you, Lord.
He will. He'll be calling home.
He'll be officiating our funerals.
You'll just see Gary in a white robe. What was that? Was that a meteor? No, that was Gary going home. Dana Moore De La Garza, 6'5",
She's going to
9157.
handle all your planning needs.
Right?
Yeah.
She will. Motto Mortgage, 541-5454. 541.
Give Terry a call now because,
She
not
ain't
only
there.
is your mortgage.
She ain't there yet.
Oh, yeah, not quite yet. Give her a couple minutes to get in the door.
Motto
But
Mortgage.
not only is she your local mortgage expert, I have a feeling, and the feds are kind of hinting that interest rates are going to rise. You're not going to get
better
any
get with her.
lower than now.
Get with her now. Get it done. Get locked in now and lower your interest rate. If you want to do a cash out refi and put some money back into your kitchen or into your home, into a bathroom, she can help you with that. Go look at your options. Go see what you qualify for. It won't cost you anything to discuss it with Terry Murray. Wind Services, free consult again. Generators, solar panels, electrical work, plumbing work, remodels.
Yeah, they can
Call.
do any. If you're looking to rewire a home, make some changes, add more outlets, they can do all that stuff.
They can do it. Call Went Services today. And USA Concrete Coatings, Charlie Garcia, it's like saving the best for last. 578 Home. He'll come out, he'll steam clean and whatever acidize, whatever he does, get your garage floor clean, get all those oil stains off, seal the cracks. We all have cracks in our garage. He'll seal those, and then he'll put down a tough polyurethane coating that you can turn into Cowboy blue and silver. You can turn it into Texans red and blue. You can make it burnt orange and white. He doesn't care. He probably won't do maroon. No, he would do
whatever you want. You're the customer.
The Aggies are used to being at ground level. 578 Home. Reach out to Charlie Garcia and let him show you what his team can do. Pool decks, patios, porches.
I'm going to get one done in crimson and gray.
I love it for Washington State. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs.
Go Tigers. The Great Barn, 920-6803. Reach out to Cheryl for your next party. We're going to have a Wade and Carter party. Again, we've been to several events, and we've sponsored several events as Wade and Carter. It's almost like as Laurel and Hardy. We've done that.
More or less, yeah. Abbott and
Yeah.
Costello.
Stanley.
It's another fine mess you've gotten us into.
All right. Who's on first?
Wade and Carter T-shirt appeared in the Helplex yesterday.
Did it?
Really?
Yes.
Somebody you knew? Somebody
I was
you knew?
talking to one of yeah, they came in with y'all a T-shirt on themselves, and they came in and they wore it on the way out too. How about that?
Was she a little cutie?
It's a nice lady.
Great.
That's one Gary gave, and that's one Ash gave away.
Great. Our gear is now relegated to the workout bin.
Right? Oh yeah, it's got tears in it, bleach
Smelling.
stains, bleach marks.
Smells like sweat.
Well, hey, fine.
The Great Barn.
Jeff Fonseca says he's got to get over here to the Health Bar and try that waffle. He wants to have it along with his double sausage breakfast on a bun from Whataburger.
I had a panini this past week.
Did you?
It was great. You boys sold it to me, and a strawberry shortcake smoothie.
There you-
Strawberry shortcake smoothie.
How good was that?
Oh, it was great. It's great.
Haven't tried that.
Gary's used to eating Lunchables. When he doesn't have a kid's, he probably didn't eat for 3 days after having that.
I promised Brittany when we go for it, I'll be in there.
That's nice. You're a fine gentleman. I tell you what, I love Fonzie, and he says, "Go Tigers." I love that interview, and we could resurrect it where they're talking to Ogeron and the boys are practicing behind it. He goes, "Hey, hold it out over there on the television." I mean, it's just so funny. He just screams at him, "Hold it down over there."
Turns around, coach is in the middle of his interview.
And the guy goes, "Thanks, coach. Good luck this weekend." Go Tigers. Gotta love that old guy. His blood pressure is like 220 over 190. He just stays beet red.
Yeah, it's because he's been out in the sun. No, it's just him.
No, that's just him. He
He
goes home and
January 3rd.
he goes home and he loses like 30 pounds and turns pale. You know, like you don't recognize him in HEB.
Might be the Piggly Wiggly in Louisiana.
Folks, we got to get out.
Yeah.
The
Hey, tomorrow you
Hall
want
of
to tune in.
Famer.
Well, the Hall of Famer will be here in a minute, but tomorrow you want to tune into the show because we got our Congressman Michael Cloud coming in studio tomorrow.
Fantastic. Hey, be
Talk
thinking
about
of your
the Peace Act,
questions for Michael.
and he's introducing the Peace Act. Next week we'll talk a little bit more about that. I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to blow the lid off it today. You have to
Awesome.
tune in tomorrow.
Peace
It's
Act.
a teaser in the business.
If it's the Peace Act, I mean, how can you be against
How
the
can it be
Peace
against
Act?
peace? Exactly.
American Relief Plan, the Everybody's Happy Health Plan, the no deductible ever health plan. How can you be upset with that? By the way, hearing great things out of the studio as Bill Gates and the Plandemics working on some final cuts of their album.
Awesome. Can't
We'll
wait.
be looking for some singles to be released soon. Hope you guys have a great day. We love you.
And we'll see you all, Mignon.